Now, there are 5 types of maturity, but there are 2. There are 3 that you must strive to achieve, actually, to have a better life. The first type of maturity is maturity that comes with age. What you may say, age maturity. The fact that you attain 18 years old means that with age you are mature. But that having attained a certain age does not mean that you are mature. You have the years, or you with age you have an ID. For example, in Kenya we talk of 18 years. Different countries, I think there are some years whereby at 16 you have the right to do ABC and all that. Now that is age maturity. Age maturity does not mean that you have matured. Number 2 is what we call physical maturity. Physical maturity is whereby in stature you appear, or you have got qualities of a mature person or an adult. For example, even when we were in school and we are learning about maturity, there are some characteristics, or there are some developments that happen to our bodies that shows that we are mature. You are able to see to come across somebody who is 18 years old, 16 years old, but they look, you are able to come across a young man who is 16. He's got beards and he has got a figure, and you can even say that they are 20 or 25. This means that physically they have achieved a certain age. Now, this is what most people fail to know, that age and physical maturity does not mean that you have attained maturity. There is maturity goes beyond this, because the way you live with others, the way you associate with others, is actually not determined by age or physical maturity. Now, I want to say this, and you need to know this. There is a saying that offends so many people that says that even fools grow old, and it is true. Why? Because there are other aspects apart from being 40 years old, or being, producing gray like probably people have. Now, that does not mean that you are mature. You must go beyond physical and age maturity. Now, number 3, 4, and 5 is what determines your excellence, is what determines your success, is what determines how you live with others. Very important. Number 3, which is very important among the important 3, is what we call the mental maturity. Mental maturity is the ability to make decisions, is what helps you in problem solving, or the kind of choices you make, the kind of activities you engage and involve yourself in. And I always tell people this: for you to attain mental maturity, you must keep on feeding your mind with the right information. You have to keep on learning. You have to keep on improving your knowledge on a daily basis. If you are not doing this, you will not attain this mental maturity. Now, when you talk of the mind, it's what we talk about the IQ. I know we have got different aspects, and we talk of the people with high, others with low IQ, and that does not mean that you are complete. Number 4, I think this is the most important. Even psychologists say most people, your probability of success is determined by 66% of it is determined by what we call emotional intelligence, and this is what we call emotional maturity. Emotional maturity is what helps you to make better decisions. What makes you helps you to make decisions not based on emotion, not based on what you feel. Emotional intelligence, or emotional maturity, which you may describe as emotional intelligence, it helps you now to know based on how you feel, or what you want. Probably you are excited. Probably you are frustrated. Frustrations. We have disappointment. We have anger. All these are emotions. How do you manage your emotions? Very important for you to know this. There are people who tend to be emotional, and you tend to make what we call emotional decision. When you find yourself making emotional decision, in this case, you are likely to mess. If you make a decision because you are angry, if you make a decision because you are excited, this is even in church. You are even likely to come across this. We have people you call emotional givers, because the preaching was so nice, and during giving they even preach 50, 100,000. Only to realize that financially, because you did not engage your mind to analyze your current financial situation, you realize that you are making promises that you not fulfill. You end up being promiscuous to an extent. You know that all the promises that you make, they never come into fruition. Why? Because you make emotional decisions. In this case, I would urge you, can you work on your emotional intelligence? How do you improve your emotional intelligence? You have to understand, number one, it is a process, and I think I've talked about it, how to improve your emotional intelligence. You can check on that video because it's very important. Actually, your progress in business, at work, progress at work, will be determined by your emotional intelligence. That is what you call emotional maturity. If you realize that you make decisions out of anger, these are signs that you are emotionally immature. Another sign that shows that you're emotionally immature is that you are easily offended, and you happen to be emotional in everything that is happening. You are crying all the times because when someone offends you, it's a sign of emotional immaturity. You need to work on, and I think I'm discussing emotional maturity, so that you tend to understand what it means by this, and you must differentiate the different aspects of maturity. Finally, is what we call spiritual maturity. Spiritual maturity, I think this is an aspect that most of us tend to ignore. Spiritual maturity now comes based on how you build your relationship with the higher authority, or with the higher being, with God, or whoever you believe in. We are Christians, we believe in God. So in this case, you need to work towards attaining spiritual maturity. Spiritual maturity, it will help you to attain what we call the ability to discern. You know, that discernment, that to an extent you can make a decision. You cannot easily be misread, because why? There is a spiritual aspect of you that tells you that there is danger. There is a spiritual aspect of you that guides you and says something, this is not right, based on how you feel. Some people call it the gut. When you use the gut, and I'm very good at this is what we say, being intuitive. Intuitive decision, or intuitive using your intuition. This is what we call the spiritual aspect. Now it helps you now to make all the better decisions based on what you feel, what you see, analyzing the logics, how you feel. Then it helps you to know whether that is the right decision. So work on attaining. I think with age and physique, there is nothing much you can do, just work out and all that. You attain a certain stature. But when it comes to mental, spiritual, and emotional intelligence, this will hold it, and will definitely determine the quality of life that you live. So work towards attaining these types of maturity, and you have a better standard and improved life.